Let's study Mishneh Torah, Hilchot Shabbat, Perek Yod Daled. Ezohi Reshut Harabim. The definition of Reshut Harabim, because it's Isur Deoraita to be Ma'abir Daled Amot Reshut Harabim, to carry 4 Amot in Reshut Harabim. And there's Isur Deoraita to carry from Reshut Harabim to Reshut Hayachid or vice versa. I just want to, just on the point of carrying Dalit Amot B'Reshut Harabim, I do want to refer back to Hilchot Shabbat, Perek Yod Bet, Halacha Yod Chet. I just want to read that for a moment because there oftentimes is confusion on that law. הואיל ויש לו לאדם לטלטל בכל המרובע שהוא 4 אמות על 4 אמות. So, granted that a person is allowed to carry 4 amot in Reshut Harabim. Now, when we say you can carry 4 amot in Reshut Harabim, let's say, for example, you're standing in point A. So you can be deemed to be standing in the middle of a square, right? For example. So if you're in the middle of a square, and the square is 4 by 4, each one of the sides of the square is 4 amot by 4 amot, or 2 yards by 2 yards, as it close approximation. So now, if you think about it as a square, you understand that the diagonal of a square is longer than the sides of the square, right? Based upon the famous Pythagorean theorem. So that means that actually you can carry a little more than 4 amot in a straight line, right? So it all depends how you measure your position at any given time. So, נמצא מטלטל באורך אלכסונו של מרובע זה 5 אמות ו3 חומשי אמה. So therefore, actually, if you look at yourself as if you're in the middle of a square, you can carry along the line of the diagonal, and that comes out to 5 amot and 2/5. So that would be 5.4 amot. 5.4 amot, you can carry 5. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. 5 amot ו3 חומשי אמה. 5 3/5. So that would be 5.6 amot, a little more than 5.5 amot. לפיכך אין המעביר הזורק ברשות הרבים חייב עד שיעביר חוס ל5 אמות ו3 חומשי אמה. And therefore, technically, in order to be liable for punishment d'oraita, you have to carry past the 5 amot and 3/5 amot. So if you carried exactly 5 amot and 3/5 amot, 5.6 amot, you didn't make any sort of d'oraita yet, right? Okay, בכל מקום שאמרנו בתחילת 4 לסוף 4, הוא מעביר 4 אמות חייב, ומתחילת האלכסון של 4 אמות עד סופו. So whenever we say that you're not allowed to carry 4 amot, you can measure it by the diagonal. And therefore, if you carried less than the measure of the diagonal in 5.6 amot, then you're fine. 5.6 amot, that would be 2.5 yards. 2.5, that's 2.5, about 2.8 yards. נמצא כאן 3 מידות. So, to be precise, when we're talking about carrying in the Reshut Harabim, there are 3 measurements. כיצד? העוקר חפץ מרשות הרבים ממקום זה, והניחו במקום אחר ברשות הרבים. אם היה בין שני המקומות עד 4 אמות, הרי זה מותר. So, you lift up an object in the Reshut Harabim, and you carry it, and you put it in the Reshut Harabim in another place, another location. If the distance between the 2 locations is up to 4 amot, nothing wrong with that. It's mutar. You can do that. היה ביניהן יותר מ4 אמות, ועדיין הן בתוך 5 אמות ו3 חומשי אמה, פטור. If, on the other hand, you carried it more than 4 amot, but not greater than, no, I'm sorry, but less than 5.6 amot, less than. I want to correct what I said before. Before I said you can carry up to, and it sounded like you can carry 5.6 amot. It's up to, but not including 5.6 amot, meaning a little less than 5.6 amot. That's patur. It's patur aval asur. So interesting. Rambam says to carry along the diagonal is patur aval asur, right? What I said earlier, about 5 minutes ago, that one can carry along the diagonal. That's derabbanan, deoraita. But Chachamim asru to carry along the diagonal and only allow you to carry the 4 amot. So if you carry between 4 amot, more than 4 amot, up to 5.6 amot, but not including 5.6 amot, right? Patur, Isur Derabanan. היה ביניהם 5 אמות ו3 חומשי אמה בשווה, הרי זה חייב. But if you actually carry the full distance, 5.6 amot exactly, or greater than 5.6 amot, then you're hayyab. Interesting, on this point, the Shulchan Aruch is cholek. On this point, the Shulchan Aruch is cholek. According to the Shulchan Aruch, you're actually allowed to carry up to 5.6 amot. Not 5.6 amot, up to 5.6 amot. So Mahloket Rambam is Mahmir. Rambam says, and to summarize, if you carry for amot, less than 4 amot, it's mutar. 4 amot or less. 4 amot or less, it's mutar, according to Rambam. Shulchan Aruch agrees with that. If you carry greater than 4 amot and up to 5.6 amot, but not, you didn't reach 5.6 amot, according to Rambam, that's patur aval asur. According to the Shulchan Aruch, it's mutar. If you carry 5.6 amot, it's hayyab deoraita. So now let's go back to the definition of Reshut Rabim. Perek Yud Daled Halacha Aleph. Ezoi Reshut Rabim Midbarot. According to Rambam, deserts are Reshut Rabim. V'arim, forests are Reshut Rabim. Ushvakim, marketplaces like the Shuk, Machane Yehuda, are Reshut Rabim. Udrachim Amfulashim Lahen, or roads that lead to a marketplace, or that lead to a forest, or that lead to a desert. ובלבד שיהיה רוחב הדרך 16 אמה. When do we say that a road is considered a Reshut Rabim? It has to be a minimum of 16 amot wide, right? It has to be a minimum of 16. Okay, sorry for the glitch there. So we're talking about Reshut Rabim, and we said that midbarot and deserts and forests and marketplaces, like the Shuk Machane Yehuda, Udrachim Amfulashim Lahem, and the roads leading to these places, but it's on condition that the road is at least 16 amot wide. That was a condition. V'lo ya'alav tikra, and there should be no roof over the Reshut Rabim. Okay, Now, I just want to note that Harambam says midbarot v'arim or reshut harabim, just to prevent confusion. I'm saying this so people don't get confused. Yes, the Shulchan Aruch disagrees and says that midbarot and yarim or yarot are actually karmelit. Okay, just wanted to get, if you see that, not to get confused, because sometimes the memory plays tricks and you get confused, you don't remember what the halacha is. So remember, Hanambam says that the Reshut Rabim includes deserts and forests, whereas Shulchan Aruch says no, deserts and forests are karmelit. And again, 16 amot, that's the minimum width of the Reshut Rabim. The Shulchan Aruch brings the Shita of Harambam, 16 amot being the minimum width, and constituting a Reshut Rabim. He brings that as a setam. Then he brings the Yesh Omrim, the famous position that says, no, you have to have 600,000 people. And without 600,000 people, you don't have a Reshut Rabim. I follow the Shulchan Aruch, the setam, and also Harambam, because it doesn't make sense to me. According to the explanation that needs 600,000 people, lo haya reshut rabim me'olam, since Dor HaMidbar, there never was ever a reshut rabim in human history. I mean, it could be that, somewhere, but it doesn't make sense to me. All right. ואיזו רשות היחיד, תל גבוה 10 טפחים, ורחב 4 טפחים על 4 טפחים. Reshut Rabim has a minimum measurement. For example, a mound in the Reshut Rabim, which is at least 10 tefachim high and 4 by 4 wide. Those are the minimum measurements. If the measurement is greater than that, then it's still Reshut Yachid. וכן חריס שהוא עמוק 10 ורחב 4 על 4 יותר על כן. Or it could be, instead of a mound, it could be a ditch. Again, if the ditch is at least 10 tefachim deep and at least 4 by 4 wide, 4 tefachim by 4 tefachim wide, it's Reshut Yachid. וכן מקום שהוא מוקף 4 מחיסות, גובהן 10 וביניהן 4 על 4 או יותר על כן. Also, it could be a enclosure which has 4 sides. And again, the minimum height has to be 10 tefachim. Minimum width and length has to be 4 by 4 tefachim. But this enclosure doesn't have to be 4 by 4. It could be several miles, several kilometers wide, several kilometers long. For example, a ranch in Texas. You have many of these ranches in Texas, which are huge, right? You have walls running down on both sides. Assuming we're not dealing now with what a wall is and what constitutes a wall. I'm looking at this in a very general sense. And it has to be mukaf ledira. It has to be that the walls were put there for residential purposes. So maybe a private estate would be a better example. You have a private estate, and the private estate is acres upon acres upon acres, and there's a wall enclosing the estate. That would be the Reshut Yachid because it's mukaf ledira. A ranch is not always mukaf ledira. A ranch is mukaf for other purposes. And then he brings kevon medina hamukefet choma shedaltoteha nin'alot balada. For example, cities in antiquity, cities had walls around them, and if the city's walls are locked at night, like a gated community. Yeah, I understand you have gated communities where you have a wall around the community, and it's locked at night. You could also have the din of mavoi. Mavoi is it's like an alleyway which has a dead end. So imagine like an alleyway in Jerusalem, in the old city, where you have like a road or something, and there's walls on both sides, right? And then it gets to a dead end. That's called a mavoi. It's 3 sides. It's not 4 sides. The Reshut Yachid is 4 sides. A mavoi is 3 sides. So mavoi also is Reshut Yachid, But in the case of the Mavoy, you have to put a lechi or a kora. Lechi is a vertical pole. Kora is a horizontal pole at the entrance to the Mavoy. We really know that that's later on. We can study that. He doesn't bring kora here. Here he brings lechi, mechila. He just doesn't bring the law of kora here. He just brings lechi. Lechi, the vertical pole. וכן חסר לדיר וסוהר שהוקפו לדירה, כולן רשות היחיד גמורהן. Also a chaser is a public courtyard, so they would have, it's a kind of a gated community actually. That's what a chaser is. You have houses, and then you have a square enclosure around the houses, and then you have a public square. Also, everything is enclosed within four walls. That's a chaser, gated community. Vedir v'sohar, different types of barns. Dir and sohar are barns. But in the case of the barn or ranch, it has to be that the walls were put around for residential purposes. And again, we'll deal with that later. These are all considered a reshut hayachid. Right. Okay, that's it for today.